Hello and welcome. Good morning, good evening. Hello, it's me, Bryza, and I am very pleasure to welcome you here. Hello. Oh my gosh. First thing first, thank you, Lores, for resub, and hello, Dragoler, hello, Brixie, hello, Luna. How are you doing? And hope you're doing fine. Wow, hydrate that fast? Alright. Thank you. I will need the hydration very often today, because today there is a very special stream. This is my first stream of this type. I will do a little presentation about a history of my culture. That is a Polish, more like Slavic culture. Doing good. Just order pizza. Yo, a pizza, amazing, amazing. Yeah. Some may I don't know if that's any proud to say. I was a former history student. I only but I don't like to say about because it sounds like whoa, I'm very good at this. No, I drop off after half of the year, the first one. Uh, but I went to history because I love talking and learning about the culture, about the history. I'm more like the maybe not the date of war and stuff like this. No, I'm more like person who loves feeling culture and see it through the eyes of the person who live in that period of time. Person can read me a bedtime story. I could try. Yeah, I could try learning some stories about Bubr or something. Quickly runs into the lecture room. Sorry, I'm late. Hello, Almir. Hello, you're not late. You're not late. You're welcome here. There's nothing like being late in my classroom. Don't worry. I may be not educated in the college of history, but I am very long enthusiast of history. I read dozens of books. I learned a lot of lectures and met a few professors that and have talked with them. I won some I don't remember the word. I want a reward with some competition. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. What matters now is that we love bricks. See, this is the first, and second is today I'm going to speak about a very special date because today is 2nd of November, and 2nd of November in very long time ago, it was a very special date because this day, the ghosts of or more this night, these ghosts of ancestors came back to life. So this is the All Souls Day. Will you be teaching us how to call ghosts? Technically, I will more teach you how to appease them if you call them already. So I'm going to talk about old pagan faith that was more like tradition on this land and on much more land to the east of Europe. And I will explain it as we will go. But first thing first, I need to address if you have any questions related to the current or the past slide of the presentation or anything, you can ask them right now. I mean, right when the slide will be, right? I will not do a Q&A. You can just ask and I will try to respond them as we go. I also need to do a little, I might not know everything. I will tell you why, but I will try to just do a little introduction, maybe like familiarize you with the subject. And yeah. Oh, the first thing first, I'm ill. I'm still sick, and I might be not in very best shape, but I'm here. If I will be feeling worse, I will not be here. So let's roll with it. No, yeah. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. It's only a cold. I joined the being sick club again. Oh. Yeah, I'm home since Monday, since Tuesday basically. But since Sunday, I'm not in very great shape. All right. I think I'm ready. Let me do a little CP. I will CP a lot during this time because I'm dehydrated a little after the cold, so you need to excuse me. And I will a lot of talking. So thank you. Oh, and one thing more, the rewards will be disabled for except headpads and hydrate to not interrupt the learning process. Oh, that sounds so serious. Well, it's serious holiday, right? Aren't it? But for now, they should be enabled, right? They are here. So if you, yeah, and I don't prepare Polish word of the day. No, there is no Polish word of the day today. So yeah, because the Polish word of the day is just a presentation here. So thank you for the scares, Professor Bryza. Yo, I need glasses then. No, I'm sorry. I should mute myself. Oh my god, sorry. Okay, so guys, no. All right, so let's go. Leather patches on elbow. Whoa, yeah, like Alan Wake. Okay, let's go. Whoop. All right, we are here. Let me go to the slide. Yeah, so this is the first thing that you might see. Oh my gosh, OBS is getting a little crazy. And if the music is too loud or not too loud or something other interrupt your stuff here, tell me straight away. Where is headpad? There should be headpad here. Apparently there are not headpads. So first little problem. Okay, let me do a quick fix. You're way louder than music. Yeah, I know. That was the. Oh, okay, we are both here. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Before stream it was working, but now there are two of them. Okay, so welcome to Dziady. Dziady, the old way to appease the gods. This is not exactly a name of the holiday, more like a set of rituals that were performed to appease them. Why do you need to appease the gods? Spirits, not gods, spirits. Well, that you will learn very fast. Or quick, I should say quick. Sorry for slip ups. I will try my best doing English language, but I never did something like this. Okay, yeah, and this is heretical. So if you are a Christian Pope, I'm sorry. But I hope the Pope will not watch it. Okay. So basically, what are Dziady? As I told you, the Dziady are the pagan Slavic tradition of rites, a right to communion, living with the dead. The first lecture is always trademark, go with and burp. I'm trying my best. Yeah, so basically this is the ritual that happen a few times in a year. And yeah, they could be translated because the Dziady is of course Polish word, from the old Polish language. Mostly, of course, there were other names in other countries and languages, but you can translate them as the Old Fathers, Old Forefathers Eve. And they happened at least twice a year. Because there were the main two ones. The first one was in the moon phase when the moon was full in May, between first or two. It was you can call them a spring Dziady. They were a part of the spring celebration called Radonica. Celebrating life after the winter, celebrating beginning of the spring, later harvest. Also the dead, ancestors. I always like how some languages sounded in old version, Old English, Old Polish. Yeah, this is the Old Polish was very interesting. I might can talk about it someday. And the second day, which is today, the Autumn Dziady, was between 31st of October and 1st of November. They were part of the All Souls Day. All Souls Day is today, Zaduszki in Polish. Of course, there were a lot of them. There were mostly, the two of them are more important. Hello, Apple, hello. But Dziady were also performed in mostly celebration about nature changes. When some natural phenomena occurred. Season change, of course. Yeah, season change was a huge factor. You always need to appease the ancestors. I will explain that a little more. Zaduszki is a shorter and a little more cute type of how you name Dzień Zaduszny. Dzień Zaduszny is more like Christian stuff, but I will went to it. I will go for it. This first slide was a little shorter, but we have a little longer and more interesting. So, as you can see, I need to do a little introduction. I need to do a little introduction with the old Slavic stuff. Old Slavic beliefs and the paganism, so that will be interesting. I love how Slavic culture was so tightly connected to the nature of the seasons. Yes, this is exactly what it's all about. So, as you might see on the backgrounds, there is a map. There's a map of, if I remember correctly, it's like a 10th century map or something like between. This is the range of the Slavic people, Slavic tribes. So they're covering almost entire Eastern Europe, except some part of Hungary and Baltic tribes. So this is a really huge area, and they are spread from Eastern Germany to. I don't know exactly, but this is the Western Russia, right? But I'm not exactly sure where. I think it's something about Moscow and maybe Petersburg. And of course, the southern tribes even went into Greece. So this is a huge terrain. And there's also a problem, because the information about them are very sparse and inconsistent. This is the huge issue with the archaeologist must. Oh wait, something happened. This is the huge issue that archaeologists face, and this is also a very big problem because, unfortunately, almost completely. Slavic faith and traditions were spoken, not written. It was like an oral tradition. So they told you about the tradition. They told descendants about the tradition of the of the ancestors, speaking by legends, tales. And the problem with the oral tradition is that the legends and tales could easily die when there's no one who can listen to you. And that happened, except unfortunately that happened. So there is not a very good. I think you know. There's not a very good sources of it, except legends. We have a lot of legends. Hello, Caranos. Mostly sources that we have. Thank you. Most sources, historical sources that we have, are from the Christian documents, Christian chronicles, Christian letters. After the regions get baptized and get Christianized, and they are written from the Christian perspective. So they are just slandering the faith, calling it uncivilized. Yes, Witcher music, and they are very biased. Also, when you want to dig something from the earth, like archaeologists do, the most buildings are made from wood, and this terrain of Eastern Europe and Central Europe and Southern Europe are not exactly great material to preserve a long time, especially during winters. So yes, this is a problem. Almost no written knowledge survived. And I called this. We are here now. I called also this point as a melting pot. Why? Because the Slavic faith was surrounded by other faiths. We have Germanic faiths in the north and Western Europe. Also some Celtic traditions, and even some Persian traditions went into this faith and got assimilated a bit. So the culture is alive. It's not existence in a closed, contained. It melts with each other, especially if the lands are very close. So the traditions that I will speak today, you can relate them in all Europe. They're not exactly the same, but they're similar. So, like, Halloween, for example, right? Also, a feast for the dead. And yeah. Yes, and what do Slavs believe? Slavs believe in, of course, gods. There are a lot of gods, but basically we know only two that are confirmed. But most of the gods are the gods of nature. Natural phenomena, natural events. So we have the gods of the god of lightning and the storm and the war. It's called Perun. There's also Veles, god of underworld, and magic and riches and artists and poets. There are a lot to cover. Most of them, as I said, it was the personifications of the natural phenomena. So we have the goddess of the rising sun. It's called Yutrzenka, the goddess of day. So it's I don't know exactly how to say, but most of the words, the words of that gods were called, are still existing for today. And they are still used. Yutrzenka is just a word that we use even today. And of course, nature. Nature, of course, was very important, and also maybe not as important as the old Prussian region faith. And yeah, also there are a lot of shamans, a lot of rituals, and the cult of ancestors, which we will talk about today. And yeah, this was it was very prominent. Cult of ancestors was very prominent. Every family have their own tradition about how to honor ancestor. They have own spirits that has the ghost of ancestors related to them, and even sometimes lesser demons or like mean spirits. So imagine how different and how not standard this fate was. It was not an organized religion when you have the cult of saints, you have the Jesus, you have the God, right? No, it was like everything. So that's why it's so hard to describe this thing. That's I will talking about mostly overall, not detail, because if I want to talk with the detail, I would spend like 5 hours at least on one region. And yeah, there's also a little stuff, because after Christianization, each country got Christianized after all, in some time. I'm ink that length intellectual. Oh my gosh. After Christianization, the faith of the Slavs was slowly assimilated by Christian faith, and all beliefs were translated into the Christian holidays and practices. But for long times, element of Christian faith and pagan beliefs existed in the same time, even in the same legends and tales. So this is add a little more chaos to overall pagan traditions, because you can have a legend about a Slavic demon and a Christian saint in the same place, Oral tradition does that, and also missionaries are very, very efficient with doing that stuff. So yeah, this is the chaos. All right. So we have the few gods. I told you about the Perun, the god of storms and the war. We have also the Veles, the god of underworld and magic. And behind me there is a Dutch book, the god of sun and bountifulness. Yeah, of course there are artistic interpretation of them. And okay, so we are here. They look like the badass of the Viking pantheon. There's also I will return a bit. Yeah, this is also a good point, because we don't exactly know who influenced who. Of course, you can clearly see the resemblance of the Perun and the Thor from the Nordic mythology. The gods of war and gods of lightnings, very, very similar. So it's not exactly sure who was first. It doesn't matter after all. But it also could mean that some other religion, rather beliefs, influenced both of them. We don't know much about the ancient stuff and early medieval history. This is very uncharted land for us. All right. So, the old spirits are back today. Twice a year, at least twice a year, spirits return to the world of the living from Navia, or Nav, the world of the dead. And as I said, the dates of ritual depending on the moon phases, because it was believed that the moon influencing the connection, the strength and the connection between the world of the living and the world of the dead. And various phases has a different strength. Uh, and yeah, I should tell you why the Dziady was performed, because it was believed that ancestors were very influential about the world of the living, and very, very important. They can manifest themselves. So the descendants of those ancestors need to appease them and gain them support, favors, to get good weather, to get good harvest, a bountiful one, or even increase fertility. So it was very, very important, and you really don't want to anger the ancestors. Yeah, families gather on the cemeteries and perform rituals like burning fires, like hanging clothes on the nearby tree, new clothes, not old, new ones, and feasting. Fasting on the graves was very, very common, but not only in the grave. Will it be on the test? It could be. So remember. It reminds me of The Witcher 3. Yes, on The Witcher 3 there was even a quest called Dziady. Yeah, and this is very important. Spirits were treated as they are alive, not dead. No, they were alive, so you need to treat them like a guest, and they need the best possible hospitality. Yeah. Yeah, the ritual was pretty memorable in Witcher 3, but it was more inspired by the poem Dziady. Not but the poem is mostly about the old rituals, so that checks out. All right. Oh, we have a little stuff here. So you can see a ghost walking on the Christian cemetery. On the top, wait, I have hands, I forgot. On the top you can see a bit artistic interpretation of the feast on the graves. And yes, this is a Christian graves. And this is, if I recall correctly, this is from 19th century or something around. There's also modern fireplace that I will talk about in a second. What I have, oh my god, thank you, lords. And there's also an interesting fact on the bottom. This is egg. This is a decorated egg. And these are mostly common during Easter. And they were also common during Radonica, the spring Dziady. Apparently the tradition of the egg was quite early here, and Christians just assimilated the tradition to their own belief. There was a tradition that during spring Dziady, eggs were decorated, and later they were put on the graves to crack them. Because the cracked egg symbolized the escape, the soul from the grave, that could be reborn as the new one, the new entity. So yeah, the Christian missionaries just added Jesus there, basically. We have only added Bunny for fans. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so let's go to the little hotter place. The fires, the spirit beacons, and the demon world. Yeah, the fire was super important, because the bonfires were lit around the villages, because they provided both warmth for the kind spirit of ancestors, and also they're guarding the living from the malicious ghosts, demons, monsters. Even in some parts, especially more closer to the Baltic, The warm baths was left overnight to cleanse the soul. You know, so the soul during the night can just come and take a bath. That help. Yeah, and wait, I will. Unfortunately, my OBS sometimes a little bug, but okay. The special fire rituals were performed on the graves of the damned souls. The people, it was the people who died mostly by their own hands, but there were also murderers and the drowned people, and also in the place of the demise, and especially in the places filled with dark magic, because the fire guarded the living and the kind dead from them. So yes, fires were set around the villages, graveyards, and on crossroads. It believed that crossroads were especially cursed places. You shouldn't walk to the crossroads if you don't need to, especially during night and especially during the All Souls Eve. It was also believed that the monsters who went especially active during that times were Strzyga, also known as Striga from The Witcher, Topielica, that could be translated as a drowness. It was a spouse of the drowner, who drowned after them out of despair and now helped them with drowning other people. That was a little dark, but it was a demon, it was a monster, so... And also especially active was Wąpierz. Of course that means a vampire, a lesser one, if you played Witcher 3. After Christianization, they added a bonus monster to this little pack. It was the devil, who waited for wanderers in the crossroads, and depends of the region, they had different names. It was either Boruta, Rokita, or a Chart. The Christianization only added a little monster, which I find a little funny. Also the fires on the crossroads was not only was a guard, but also was little beacons to guide souls to afterlife after they will left the feasts. And also, yes, the ritual dances around the fires were performed. People jumped through the fire, dancing, singing, playing music. There were special masks that wards off the demons and the malicious souls. The mask was made from wood or clay, and they were called kraboszka. I will show you a picture in a moment. After the celebrations, after the dances, the masks were left around the houses to ward the living ones from the demons through the night. And next day they were burned in the fires, because it was the mask was also affected the good ghosts. So after the malicious ones were scared off, you don't want to scare the good ones. And as I said, during the celebration it was unwise to leave home without fire. You know, mostly it was also unwise to just leave home during the after the celebrations in the night, because you can meet a ghost or a demon or a monster. And going to crossroads on the graves was a very terrible idea to do after celebration. It was asking yourself for troubles, and you could get a bit ostracized in the village if you do that. because you could be, you know, possessed by a malicious ghost. Right. All right, so you can see here, there on the top, there is a wąpierz. Look at this face. Little goober. On the right, there is topielica, and on the whole left, there is a little strzyga. And the masks of the Kraboszka masks were in the middle. I also hope I don't go too fast. Because if you want to ask something, you can do it now, or if you can, you know, if you want me to explain something better, I will try my best. And I hope everything is working still. All right. Right pasting? All right. Okay. So, there's also a very important part. After fires, of course, there were feasts. And the feast was crucial part of the celebrations. It's, as always, in this, it all depends of the region and the place. Because, as I said, traditions could differ between the villages. You can have different ancestors, of course, but you can have different faith or the beliefs in the one village, and a few kilometers away you can have something especially different. We'll give you the lemons. I will. Don't worry, Blixie. I will gladly accept some lemons. I like lemons. Okay. Give me a moment. Yeah, I will need vitamin C at all, a bit. Okay, so yeah, the celebrations could be very, very different, but most important stuff was the feast, and the feasts took place either in the middle of the village, sometimes on the outskirts, but mostly this is the huge feasts in the middle of the village. Also, in some regions, you have the families that gather together in homes, or especially in the eastern part of the Europe, the graves, and the feast was literally on the graves. So you have grave, and you can eat there. Yes, and during the feast there was a bit of tradition to share the food and the drinks with the dead, with the spirits of the ancestors. So, of course, during the feasts, the living were feasting, but also depends on the regions. Hello, Fluffy Days. Hello. Depends on the region. Sometimes the food was left in the basket or in the bark woven bowl, especially for the dead, or just it was thrown out through the ground or to the grave. You know, the ancestor could pick themselves and eat. The drinks were treated the same. Sometimes it was a mug or some kind of little bowl with a drink, or it was just spilled out of the grave or the ground for the dead. And in some places, the tradition is still alive. As this last one with the drinks, because I learned that in the eastern parts of Poland and probably a bit further. Oh, the drink was vodka, of course, or other strong alcohol. It was called spirit after all. So even today, in some places of the eastern parts of the Slavic world, it is a tradition to take a little bar of shot of vodka and just throw it to the grave, or on the grave, or spill it on the grave. This is still practiced. They were drink spirits. You know, the name is just clearly state that it's some kind of connection. So uh, yes. And speaking of traditional food, the traditional ritual food was mostly egg, was honey, bread, kasha. That means cooked grain. Kutia, that is basically a grain with sweet gravy, and of course vodka. Actually, feasts about the dead people is still existing in Poland, but more different from Dziady. I will go to this. I will go to this. Yes, this is still a thing. Yes. So of course, I will also show the picture of the food in a moment. So I know that the kutia might be a little confusing. It is confusing. It's a confusing to me as well. I never added this, but I know that something it exists. Yes, and the offerings and fire was also left on abandoned graves. The tradition, you know, if the family of the ancestor is also in the world of the dead, and there is no one who can keep the grave, people from the village, mostly friends or just people who know that something is here, take care of the grave and clean it if there is a more modern grave, because in the Slavic times, the ancient pagan times, it was usually a little mound. So yeah, it was taken care of, and the little offerings of food were left for the spirits. Putting vodka in the fire? No, it was not put on the fire. It was not put on the fire. Don't worry. It was just left on the grave. The fire was like a torch, so it was not burning. It was not offerings. You know, they were not for the burnings. And the tradition of taking care of abandoned graves is still alive today. A lot of people just voluntarily clean the old graves and take care of them. Even even my grandma usually take care of the grave that is left abandoned next to our ancestors, and she take a really lot of care about it. But I talked with her, and she told me that a lot of people do that. It's more thing done by elders than by the youth now. You know, elders are mostly. This was so terrible, but I will say it. The elders are usually more connected to the graveyards, but not in that way that you think about. What I mean is they were more traditional, and they were more, they think about it a little more. So mostly it's elders, but during the celebrations of the pagan rites, it's basically the whole village. The whole village is take care of the graves, because it was celebration of to appease the spirits. You need to empower a whole lot of ancestors. So the whole village needs to try their best to appease them all. It was a common struggle to do it. All right, and we have some food here. On the top there is a kasha. I think this is a kasha gryczana from the. Oh my gosh, I don't remember the name of the grain. But this is the dark one, the dark kasha. It is really good. Usually, this is basically the basic form, but it's usually very good with the egg. I like to give it the egg. On that bottom one, there is a kutia, which is the kasha with the gravy. This is the Christmas version, because it's also prepared on the Christmas with a nut, as I can see. And there is a traditional bread. The bread culture is a very, very rich one. It mostly with the bread you can celebrate almost everything here. from the celebrations of the dead to the weddings, newborns, you know, almost everything can be celebrated with the bread. Bread is good. All right. But there's also another part of the celebrations of the Dziady, because there are something called living spirits. Because, you know, as I said before, the spirits could manifest themselves into the living world. And they were believed that this is a quite common thing, because the beggars and the wanderers were taken as the spirits sometimes, and they had a special role in these rituals because they have a connection with them. Okay, maybe they are not taken as the spirits, but they have connections with the spirits. They can be as spiritual guides. They wander from the village to the village, and they see a lot of things between them. So it was believed that they need to be they knew something. They wander during the night, so they must see things. Also, it is also a probability from which thing, which part the Dziady word came from. They were called Dziady or Dziad. Nowadays it is more like not. It is more translated like old man, a little derogatory. It was believed that they have connection between World of Living and the Dead, and the proof of it was that the favorite food of the ancestors were given to them. Also, they get some gifts and the money to, you know, be a little more to help them gaining favors for the village. No, they could say well about the village, so they can get maybe a little more favors from the ghosts that they met. It is really interesting part. There's also a little thing that in some places, a person named Guślarz, who is something between shaman, diviner, sorcerer, the old man, also took part of the celebrations. Sometimes even they lead the celebration and the whole ceremony. There's like no ceremony master. And they offered a guidance, they can voice the requests, and performs various rites to more appease the gods and somehow summon them, and be some kind of also a connection. It was in the Witcher 3 as well. You know, Witcher 3 is a Polish game, so they put as much as they could there, right? Okay. We are almost in the end, by the way, as I intended. But there's also a very important and very interesting part, because it is not like you can do anything. There are strict rules you need to remember. What to do and what not to do, especially during the celebrations of the Dziady, and you know, it was some of them are quite funny, because it was forbidden to work and talk too loudly, or even get too fast from the table or the grave, because spirits could get scared of the noise that you make. Also, what's very important, the cleaning table was strictly forbidden, because during the night after the feast, the spirits came and they are feasting. So cleaning the table or the grave from the wait, you mentioned about the iconic words. What is used for the Dziady event? Wait, what? I was talking about the rules. Oh, the quote. No, the quote is from the poem, and it's not historical. It's just interpretation. So I skipped the poem. I will talk about it in a moment on the next slide. But yeah, you know, if you clean the table or the grave before the spirits could eat, you will anger them because they will come to the empty grave. So you cannot do it until the next morning. After that, they're eaten. So it's all good. Mostly, probably animals also helped a bit during the night. so yeah. It was also forbidden to pouring water from the window because you can wet the souls that wander around. You cannot do that, especially if the water is contaminated. No, strictly no. And also putting fireplace, it was not allowed because the ghosts. It was believed that the ghosts of the spirit and the spirits can get to your home from the chimney. Don't remind me of the grave rats. Oh no. I mean, it is. If this is early medieval times, it is more likely it was forest animals, like foxes, wolves. Wolves maybe not, but the foxes, birds. Yeah, so I'm not sure if the bird will drink vodka, but they will especially eat grain and bread. So yeah. It was also believed that the birds are some birds were a guidance to the no, not bear, bird beard. So the birds can be souls that escaping from the world of living to the world of the dead, especially during the winter migration to the warm places. Also, it was not allowed to sew. So sewing was not allowed because if you make hello Evan, hello. If you make if you start sewing a material to the, you know, something, you can make a rug or something, you could sew a spirit to the living world and forbid them to return to the dead world. So it was not it was strictly forbidden, and you could get. Of course, it was not like a punishment from it, but it was mostly a bad fate on you. I shall use this knowledge to summon ghosts to the Phasmophobia. Let's go! Alright, so we are almost in the end. It took as much as I could. So, thank you for the headbutt, Evan. So, there's a little event in the early medieval age, because in the 1966, the Polish chieftain, you can say that the chieftain of the Poland tribe, Mieszko I, who then became unifier of the Polish tribes and their first prince of the Poland, was baptized. The baptism was took. Nobody knows exactly where, but it's also it was probably either in his castle, the wooden castle, or in Germany, or in Prague. But since then, the Christianization process began. The Catholic faith was more and more dominant in the coming ages. At the same beginning, the faith was considered as a royal faith, so it was mostly practiced in the big cities, and the villages were still pagan, and the commoners just ignored it because whatever. But it was more and more present in the times when the Christian influence spreads out. And of course, I'm talking here about the Poland, because other places like modern Ukraine, modern Belarus, was baptized later. But I'm talking about Polish perspective. So of course the traditions and the Christian influence spreads out a bit later. And yeah, the traditions were more and more present. I mean, the Christian faith was more and more present. There are even few sources of the pagan rebellion in few years after Christianizations, but they are not exactly well documented. And it was, if I remember correctly, there's one chronicle that talk about it. But after years, more churches were built, and mostly the longest time, the pagan faith bastions are smaller villages and communes without a church presence, but the faith become more tradition than belief since coming ages. Okay, I will ask you. I will do a quick question for you, my publicity, my dear listeners. What century do you think that the pagan faith ceased to exist in Poland? You can say any century. I will give you a few moments. Yeah, just what century? Because the answer could surprise you a bit. Oh my gosh, you are. Let's see. I will not say anything. I need to drink anyway. And I'm not talking about the neo-pagan stuff. I mean the old pagan ways, not the neo-paganism. Because the neo-paganism is existing, but not the old ways. No, it's a case like the old Greek democracy and democracy right now. This is similar but different things. All right, I will tell you. I will tell you because the answer is the pagan faith disappeared until 19th century, when it vanished completely. The Industrial Revolution and the consequences of the abolition of the serfdom led to destruction of the traditional communities and the little villages, because until the 19th century there was still a feudal system in the Poland, in the serfdom ways, and the people were bound to the earth. They cannot move. And after the abolition of it and Industrial Revolution, the people went to work in the cities. And in the cities, cities were dominated by, it's hard to make a little commune of the tradition in the city. So it vanished. But at the same time, Romantic artists starting to get interested by the old traditions, and the famous work is definitely from the national poet Adam Mickiewicz. He wrote poem Dziady in the 4 parts. The second part was about the ritual, and since then, it was also in 19th century. Since then, the paganism is gone, but of course neo-pagans called rodzimowiercy are very much interested in this area. And in the current time, the Christian faith assimilated all traditions and holidays, and they did it that strong that the roots are forgotten for most people. And that's understandable. Oh, and the music ended, as I see. So let's make it a little. I'm almost ending, so it's quite fitting. All right. So in current times, the celebrations were replaced by Christian holidays. Traditions are also assimilated, and it's also forgotten about the origins, as I said. So the All Souls Day is still celebrated today, but it's a minor Christian holiday of praying for souls in purgatory. And the main holiday, if you can call it, is All Saints Day. That was yesterday. The spring Dziady, connected with the Radonica festival, was replaced, of course, by Easter. And the celebration related to it was also adapted to the Christian traditions. So, like eggs, decorated eggs. There are some traces. Oh, wait. There are some traces about Dziady. Probably you can know them because the grave candles are very, very popular. They are popular in the most Catholic nations and people. But here I just adapted to instead of burning fire, just buy a candle. You can burn a candle. It's almost like fire, and then you forgot why the fire was here. Of course, also instead of feast, there are often a celebratory dinner in family home when entire family met up and spend this time together. Of course, it's not everywhere, but it's often practiced. Dragler also said about the Stipa tradition. It's a feast straight after the oh my gosh, I forgot the word. How could I? After the funeral, yeah. And yes, but it's also practiced in a lot of places. And of course, as I said before, during Easter, the decorating eggs and offerings in the baskets that you need to consecrate at the church could be also interpreted as the traces of the spring Radonica Dziady. So instead of offering it to the spirit of the ancestors, you just offer it to the Jesus. So you can see the traces, right? You can see the the similarities, that they are very visible here. And today Dziady are celebrated often by neo-pagans in all Slavic countries. Yes, eggs are also symbol of life, but they also symbolize it in the pagan traditions, because they're also a symbol of life, symbol of reborn, as in Christianity. Yes, in some countries the neo-pagan organizations were more present. I know that in Belarus it is even considered as a political event, but I don't know much about it. But there are some traces in Poland here as well. There is one non-pagan celebration that's called Rękawka holiday in Kraków. This is a part of the spring celebration. It is a city holiday, and it has roots in the pagan traditions because the Kraków have mounds of the earth that is. Now it's the little monument to the city's past, but in the years of the paganism, they are holy places of the pagan faith. Now this is a symbol of unity, of course, but then it was like a monument for a king or the gods, and today people gather the Krakow people gather in those mounds, and they roll eggs on those, and you know, almost as the pagans themselves 1,000 years ago. So yeah, it is really interesting, and I really enjoyed remembering and finding more stuff about it. And that's basically all. I want to thank you very much. If you have any question, this is the perfect time to ask them. Uh, yes. I really enjoy that learning, because most of the stuff you just know if you're living here. No, thank you, thank you. You can see the resemblance in the tradition that you and your family just do. You know, it is just like this. And then you learned where are the roots of those traditions, and they're from the 1,000 years ago, when people were completely different. It's amazing. I really enjoy that. And sometimes it was a little hard, because as I said, the sources are very sparse and very contradicting themselves. You can read something on Wikipedia, and then you can go to the source materials, and they're talking about something else. So it depends of the region, depends of the sources. It is a mess, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy that, because I did a lot. And well, if you want, I can do maybe in the future another one, because we covered All Saints Day and All Souls Day. But what about covering maybe what? Oh my gosh, Amir. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I'm lost of words. Thank you so much, Almir. I really appreciate it. This is just, oh my gosh. Thank you. I really thank you. Okay, I need a moment. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you enjoy that lecture. And as I wanted to say, I can do the same presentation about the Christmas, because in the Christmas there are still some alive celebrations that they are just straight from the paganism, and they are not even hiding it too much. And it's really fun to think about it. When you have born the birth of Jesus, then you have pagan demons next to it. So yeah, it is also an interesting subject, and I would love to tell you more about it. So if you are interested, I can do it on the Christmas. But for now, I want to thank you once again. It was a pleasure to be here with you. Oh my gosh. Once more, thank you, Amir, and thank you, Lawrence, and thank you all who listen. And I really hope you enjoy that. And let's end the stream, because now it's I don't have much more to say about it. Let's rate someone, and I know who can we rate. I hope they are here. Okay, they are here. You need to pick a correct date for Christmas, Bryza, because not much people will be here. I know. I will try to do it. I need to think about it. I know the Christmas are a little hot time, and I know that for me also. No, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's raid the Glut. They have very, very big fun. Oh, Brixie, thank you so much. Yo. Thank you. Mwah. Let's raid Glut and we see each other tomorrow in their channel. I will be joining as the guest in Escape the Backrooms. I'm already scared. So, bye bye and thank you once again. Mwah.